LANYAN, this character who's not just surprising, who's not just 4 stars, but is about to integrate into the horsemen of the apocalypse. To this day, he has not had so much attention, since we have paid attention to Mavuika and Citlali, but he's got buffs in the beta. And now the beta, most players and people, we know how it works. So today, after the live stream, let's see the match. LANYAN complete kit for you to know exactly what it does, and why most. Leave a good like, a good ulti of mend, subscribe, leave a good comment for the marine. Thanks for enjoying and watching the video. Thank you for all the affection and support. Remember that it costs you nothing, it is totally free. Recommends and positions the video, makes us grow, and I can contribute much more to the community. And that just by doing this, which is free, you participate once a day in a lunar blessing draw. And you have more possibilities if you comment and support all the other videos in the channel. Besides, we are not starting, since the first day comes out Mavuika, we are not at all starting the global draw of 40 Mavuikas for the whole community, and it is for everyone including you. There is simply that come to the directs, that is the first or second link below in the description. Now I do, for LANYAN, make the most of it if you're eating, it's very rich. Thank you for all the support. Okay. Welcome to guests to the directs, and we're going with LANYAN. Well, normal attacks, as I mentioned in other videos, are not used but are very nice. Very colorful, and many people will surely use them, and some LANYAN curry will see you around. Chakram, which is this kind of circular boomerang that you hit and comes back to you, and they are Anemo beats by being Anemo's imbued catalyst with what Torbellino will do if that can help facilitate electro-charged reactions or some other combinations. Now, skill, elementary, here comes one of the first buffs we have from LANYAN, and not only that, but remembering the cooldowns and so on are very important. Well, the elementary ability hits with the beat. Chakrams harms Anemo, and then with a talent that damage Anemo is imbued with an element. And it does, and it retraces and reapplies that same element to which the enemy is imbued. That is, it helps us already with the reactions of the equipment and the reapplication, and even facilitates the ability to apply the green shadow, since it is Anemo, and also generates a shield of absorption Anemo. Now I explain, you know what broken of his shield, because then you can gain more absorptions because the shield can be imbued. When I make Torbellino, but in principle that absorption Anemo, you already know that many shields have this 250 to a specific element, as it has this absorption efficiency Anemo and the shield. Epoila scale, a blunder of LANYAN's attack, that is. It's a very strong shield that scales a lot with the attack. So as Xianyong goes with green shadow, and he's going to play triple attack with it. Energy recharge substat, i.e., it is a support in addition to an easy construction. Whoever already has a triple green shadow set attack with power recharge already has the construction. From LANYAN, if you previously equipped a Xianyong or play some Jin with a Takale, yeah, usually goes with probability helmet for the Favonius, but that's another story from another video. Mental ability is that easy, plus it helps you move and helps you in exploration, because you can keep it to point where you throw the chakrams where you hit in summary. And this way of aiming is similar to Kiori, Kiching, Haizan, and some other character is me. He's forgetting that he's doing this, but come on, you understand me. He's doing this animation of moving around. Cooldown of your elementary ability 16. A cooldown? Sure, the 4 stars usually have 20 seconds of cooldown, and she's very strong defensively, talking to what to have. Cooldown of 16 makes it even better. Shield length, here comes the buff hat in beta. 8 seconds, shield length equals 8 seconds. That matches well with the field carry. Of course, now the buffed and has 12.5 seconds duration of the shield that is no longer justice for the carry in the field, but it will last you even some more second for one of the supports. Is broken, is very strong, the shield is very powerful and scale a lot. And there is a constellation. It's the C2 if I remember correctly, that it helps to make the shield much more powerful. Now we're talking about it. Ultimate, the ultimate has considerable damage 3 hits ago with a decent scaling, but at E. Carry the triple attack without bonus damage on Nemo and without critical proportion the scaled damage. They're going to make it pretty much the same. Don't take this into account. And this last one in the end, what it does is these. 3 strokes and together, but together, well together, as the elemental Kazuha also has. 2. Let's say stays of gathering enemies a hit when carrying the elemental, and another hit of gathering the. Fall to the ground where you leave a small whirlwind that gathers LANYAN simply has a stay. But that stay together very well is not like the ulti of Venti that is gathering for several seconds, but what really matters is that you do your job in a way. That's why we talked about a mix between Venti and Zhongli cooldown 15 seconds, with which it adapts well to the 16 who have their elementary ability and makes it not. I can't land us at full uptime level because that would have 15 of shield, 15 of cooldown. In its elementary ability it has 12.5, that equals it is very good to have 12.5 of shield. Of the game, and this is very important, and cost of 60 low cost is a low cost to be of 4 stars, with which it gets interesting LANYAN talents of ascension that buy a certain green shadow. As I said, and weapons as a catalyst, because in many teams it can benefit the Dragon Hunter to pass it to the carry. You can also take the Amber so that you heal the equipment and regenerate Jaya itself, and be more Gyler Shield and be the total defensive support team, considering that with Amber, can cure the team already makes you even more than Zhongli. Keep in mind that many people play Zhongli, many teams, just for the defensive part, and Li doesn't cure unless it's chicks, but it's a 5-star LANYAN being 4 stars, and Chero and Dale, the second strongest shield of the game after Zhongli, will cure you with the Amber prototype. This wasn't expected by anyone. That's why we talked about how strong he can be, because he's a part of that. Imagine comparing it to Zhongli and adding to it that it is an Anemo that can activate the green shadow. Imagine what this character can do now, first ascension talent. When your elementary ability makes an elemental change, Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electric Shield is going to change its elemental absorption of Anemo, which is what we were talking about earlier, to the absorption of the element, i.e. you can do with LANYAN that has that 250% additional efficiency both to the Anemo as to a concrete element among the elements that react with Anemo. Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electric means that if you're hitting yourself, for example, against the top of the abyss, that hits Hydro, and when you hit him like he is very perma of Hydro, you make him a Whirlwind Hydro. Your shield will automatically have 250 Hydro efficiency if you are hitting with the Kyushu Soryo of the floor 12 to first half the little dragon with Pyro shield, basically like the blows that hit you are Pyro. And when you make an elemental with LANYAN, you will make a Whirlwind Pyro. Your shield will pass to 250. Pyro efficiency summarizes that at 5 of the 7 Genshin impact elements, and apart from the physical, you can make with this mechanics those shields have that 250% efficiency additional to that element. Just a very careful element with which already base is an incredible shield and practically unbreakable, as strong as that of Zhongli, and the blows you throw with Chakram will also make a additional elemental hit equal to 50% of the original elemental, but elemental damage. Of that element, so that to reapply that element, ensure you activate the green shadow. Or, if you are on a reaction team, to make sure that element is maintained for. Continue the positive reaction chain correctly serves very good second talent of Useless Ascension. The damage of your elementary skill and your ulti increases in proportion to your mastery. Elemental total spoiler. I am realizing that it does not work masterfully, its shield works with it. Total attack, not mastery, so basically this is a talent that you find strange. It combines with Sidley's weapon that you'll say here. Wait, because Sitlali's soul is the most mastery weapon of the game, and also Sidley's weapon makes that, if the user is to say, in this case, LANYAN is used by the character who is in field. Shielded by a shield, in this case, LANYAN gives a shield to the character in field, the carry. Principal, that main carry will have a 28% additional inflicted damage, and I think this talent is because a lot of people who, for whatever reason, have dropped the gun banner, and you get the wrong thing and so on, you have the gun and don't Sitlali, or you want to rotate it because they throw with it. Sitlali's gun is going to take advantage of talent to do a little more damage, but Remember that. This is not important because you don't have a ratio. You don't have good damage anymore. You have triple attack. Because the shield is more scaled with the attack, then it's a rare talent that gives you more damage. In proportion to your mastery, it has to do with, I believe, in Citlali's weapon, and little more is not used. Really, constellations, here comes the good for two things. One, we'll all pull out the LANYAN for the dot. Right of the flashlights that give us a character 4 stars for free, and many will get the C4. From Xiangling, the C2 of Zhengqiu, some dupe of gaming, or something by whim, but most people. The dupes of the LANYAN, that this is what interesting come, and is already confirmed by the live stream with Alikino and Clorind, and most people are going to take out Maui Casito the law, and will not throw for Alikino and Clorind, with what not many people will have constellations of the LANYAN, even though the LANYAN is a very interesting character, and this is curious how strong these constellations are. By the way, another interesting thing for LAN makes butterflies crystallators. To condense resin do not fly, and this is also very good. I know many players of cell phone, because you use Sayu, you use it and use other things, but concretely, LAN from now on, apart from being so strong, will serve to do this function as well. Constellations. First constellation, after activating the elementary absorption of talent. Passive, the one that makes your shield change that distance from the elementary of LAN produces. Another moon pen uses an extra moon pen ring. This is to make an extra hit. Damage and an extra elemental hit. To apply this element, ensure you apply the green shadow. Continuing the team's chain of reactions is good. Its reapplication don't count on. Harm is not harm, but it's very interesting. Nothing happens. The cone and the same finger says when the shield is active, when a team character hits with normal attack, regenerates 40% of the maybe that are more than the maximum of the absorption of the shield itself once every 2 seconds. Translation: your shield is immortal. Is just like that of Sony, the best shield of the game. You don't carry it. If the character in the field that has a shield are normal attacks, the only thing is normal attacks. I mean, they've done it so that it doesn't work with Novelet so well, and you don't wear LAN. And an incredible shield, or you want to play a shield a hyper defensive with Novelet, so maybe. No, but out of that Alikino goes with normal Mavuika, goes with loaded, but you can play. To normal Mualani also goes with normal attacks, then this normal attacks makes the shield be immortal. The shield is still strong without the C2 is still very strong, depends on the C2 too. Not to play LAN, but whoever gets the C2 from LAN has a shield literally. Unbreakable for 12.5 seconds is going to be next to Sony, as I say, the best shield of the game. Maybe it overcomes it then. The C3 is the elementary ability, i.e. the shield plus 3 the C4 when the LAN uses its ultimate, gives 60 mastery to the entire team. This C4 suits you on one side. The talent is that more mastery, the more damage you do, but you're not going to really hurt because you don't. You've been in a good Nemo year, and you're not in a critical probability, which you weren't critical of. Comes well to the whole team to make reactions in General Molani, for example, that I have commented before. It will do a little more harm Arlecchino. If it goes with LAN, will do a little more damage. If a character in the field does any kind of reactions, take advantage of the mastery, will do a little bit more damage, so it's an extra, is fine, has nothing to do with it, is not the best thing in the world then. The C5 is the last 3, and the Cheeks is curious, and at the same time it is very strong. The Cheeks gives us a load of fav. Your elementary ability and additional load means that in the first rotation, let's say you can throw it away twice to have not 2 shields, because it's not that the shields just throw it away twice and has its maximum absorption once, but you have twice as many particles as you have to explore and be able to move or move further, and especially if you have a team of far. Quick swap that sometimes I explain that there are teams where instead of staying a lot of time with a carry in spoiler field most teams, but teams enter and leave with all characters of the same team, that there are some also. Basically with this one you will be able to reposition the shield, or in some equipment even have in quotation marks full uptime that is called this shield, and Finally, and more importantly, also having 2 elementary double loads means that if in the first you rotate the shield and pass 12.5 seconds and it breaks and you re-enter the second rotation, you can throw back the second shield of the charge that you left additional from the first rotation, and this makes you pull back the shield without waiting 16 seconds and your elemental, and a best to have or adapt to rotations, for example, 13 seconds or 15 seconds as the elemental. As a 16, have that load saved, so that at least in the first 2 rotations with the fair. In LAN, you have 2 shields to cool down at time without waiting 16 seconds, but every 12, 13, 14 so. You want an adaptive is to say that it makes it really fit any other kind of hind rotation by keeping a load on you to have the shield whenever you want when you finish the first rotation. Apart from that, as I say, double elemental for more exploration, but above all also for more particle equipment because you have double elemental with which it becomes battery or Uipa battery, even if you want to accompany it, for example, from a Fabonia, so that also with alls that generate more particles apart from the CTs is strong works. Chero perfectly, the C2 woo is interesting, is very interesting, and the C3T shield plus 3 the cheeks is broken or not necessary. But it also contributes. This is LAN, as I told you. It is very easy to farm. It is surely already around here because it's already public and so on. It's the same as beta is saying there hasn't been a. Shanjas uses the voice of Exilon in, and summary goes green shadow triple attack with recharge of energy to have permavault and to more attack more tank the shield and apart as catalyst. Can go so much the weapon of Citilai that you will not have it. Many is 5 stars as Hunter of Dragons to bouquet the carrion field if it goes with attack to an Arlecchino like the prototype Amber. Like even a Fabonium to give particles to the team is a savage even if you want a much stronger shield instead of these weapons that I told you. Put a gun attacker. Attack. Like the Celestial Atlas of Permanent, that is this weapon that maybe many have and don't use her. Any more attack for better shield will do her good, and you have a character. Amazing little bit more. This is the complete LANYAN kit. I hope you enjoyed it very much. I hope you learn and hope that if you get it out, and if you don't get it out, you'll get lucky. And this thing that I'm about to take care of, very good day. Don't be Mini and Cheeto that are very good people.